Managing up, the importance of questions. When I speak to groups about managing up, I'm often met with anxiety because some people think managing up is about telling your boss what to do. No, that's more likely a recipe for detonating one's career. For those who are successful managing up, they realize that telling someone what to do can have the exact opposite effect from your desired result. I learned this the hard way shortly after I was married. We just bought a new house. Yay! But my husband and I were also now saddled with two mortgages because we still owned his condo. Boo! Since it was his place before we were married, he was in charge of getting it cleaned out and ready to be rented. But my husband has some procrastinator tendencies, so a few weeks morphed into a few months, and we'd now been paying double mortgages for 4 months, and it was getting old and expensive. So one day when we were driving home from church, I said to him, "Hey, I've got an idea. Let's go home, change clothes, and go right over to the condo to get it cleaned out. We can spend all day cleaning and probably make a lot of headway so we can get it rented." After a brief pause, he turned to me and said, "Actually, Dana, my plan was to spend most of the day cleaning out the condo. But just because you're trying to tell me what to do, I'm not going to do it." I was truly baffled by his reaction. In my mind, the important thing was getting the condo cleaned out, not who suggested it or how. But I later started realizing that the how makes a huge difference. Similarly, when we consider effective managing up strategies, it's important to realize that how we approach an issue or how we message an idea or suggestion can make a huge difference in terms of how it's received. Let's examine a realistic example. If you've got a great boss, but they're just a bit overwhelmed with work, or might have a crazy travel schedule taking them away from the office more than normal, your managing up a bit may help them keep things from falling through the cracks or missing key deadlines. To that point, you might want to offer to step in to assist with a key high visibility project. Now, you can approach this two different ways, either telling them what you'd like to do or asking if your assistance would be helpful. Consider how these different approaches might sound. First, the telling approach. "Hey Jim, I got your message last week requesting that I expand the scope of the project to include international delivery, but I told our suppliers to hold off on that for now because that would push our completion date out by more than a month, which I'm sure would be a problem for the VP. Just wanted to be sure you're in the loop and on board." That directive approach can create misunderstandings and tension, if not paranoia. The boss may start thinking, "What's up with him? Who does he think he is? Has he forgotten who reports to whom? Maybe he doesn't have enough to keep him busy. Maybe he'd be interested in that new position in Bulgaria." Or you could use the asking approach. "Hey Jim, how's everything going? I just wanted to check in with you about your email this morning requesting that we expand our scope to include international delivery. I see your point about the value of expanding the footprint, and I'm running some numbers right now to take a look at how that might increase our overall profits this fiscal year. I also wanted to alert you that this type of scope shift would likely increase cycle times in the short term and push out our final completion date by about 2 weeks. I just wanted to check in to ask if you're comfortable with a later rollout date or ask if you had any other ideas about how to possibly accelerate the timetable with international delivery." Here the boss's thought bubble is more likely, I hadn't really thought through the timetable impact. I'm glad he alerted me before we committed to anything. So glad he always brings these issues to our attention so I'm not blindsided. One key difference in approach 1 and 2 is that number 2 artfully uses questioning. Instead of telling him what you think should be done, You're pointing out potential concerns or natural consequences and asking for guidance. There's a big difference between the two. In many ways, I consider questioning to be the secret weapon of managing up. One of the tips that I learned early during my facilitation skills training was anytime you want to soften a statement, turn it into a question. Questioning automatically softens the message and it is naturally more deferential, allowing the other party the opportunity to say yes or no. It preserves and respects the boss's authority, so if you're concerned about overstepping, consider using questions to make your point. Now, this shouldn't be taken to extremes. I'm not saying turn everything into a question. Of course, most times clear declarative statements are completely appropriate if not preferred. But if you're in a particularly delicate situation or attempting to soften a message to a senior leader, selective questioning can be your friend. You can find many more tips and techniques in my book, The Unwritten Rules of Managing Up: Project Management Techniques from the Trenches. In addition to providing valuable managing up techniques for the great boss scenario, it provides tips and techniques for managing 6 particularly challenging senior leader personalities, including the micromanager. Don't mind my hovering over you. I'm sure you're doing a great job. By the way, can I get another status update later today? The clueless chameleon. I'm not exactly clear on what I'm looking for, but I'll be sure to hold you responsible when I don't get it. The wishful thinker. Would you please boil the ocean and solve world peace too while you're at it? The tornado. I hope you don't mind me intimidating everyone with my overbearing nature at your team meetings. I'm just trying to help you speed things along. The naked emperor. I love the sound of my own voice. Aren't my ideas brilliant? And the MIA boss. I'm sure you guys have everything under control. I'll be traveling the next few months, so just holler if you need me. The book is available at Amazon and other retail outlets. You can also learn more about our workshops and presentations at professionalismmatters.com/managing-up or by contacting us at 678-777-7188 or info@professionalismmatters.com. I'm happy to speak to your group to offer best practices for better teaming, more effective collaboration, and increased productivity.